Hi everyone, Dr. Jeff back this week with Alexis. Week 2 here with Alexis. I know this week she's got a great topic. We're going to talk about nerve flossing. In particular, we're talking about nerve flossing, the sciatic nerve.
Yeah, so the sciatic nerve is a bundle of nerves that comes out of your low back here. It runs down your leg. It's a really thick bundle of nerves. It's about the thickness of your finger. And if that gets compromised, you can kind of have a funny feeling all the way down your leg. Depending on where it's compromised though, if you have compromise in nerve root, it'll be a bit more specific. So for example, your L3, your L4, and your L5 will have more specific locations. And then with the nerve flossing, the reason we use that is a compromised nerve is comparable to a thread going through a needle, but the thread has a knot in it. So we use nerve flossing to add tension to that thread to help it glide back and forth through the needle and help get that knot out.
Well, the sciatic nerve is a big nerve. It kind of starts at L3 or L4, 5, S1, 2, 3 in your back, and we mentioned it's about the size of your finger. And it runs down. There's a number of places it can kind of get compromised or kind of caught up in the tissues in your body. One of the first spots that can happen is in your butt, in your piriformis. A number of people, high percentage of the population, that sciatic nerve either goes right through that piriformis muscle. If the piriformis muscle gets tight, such as too much sitting, too much standing in one spot, too much lunging, you have to use that glute muscle for a lot of activities, it can kind of get stuck in that piriformis muscle in your butt. One of the next spots that happens is people sit too much, especially at work. They're sitting at the edge of the chair working on the computer. What can happen is that edge of the chair is kind of pushing right up on I call it the gluteal fold. That's kind of where the butt turns into the hamstring coming up. And again, just sitting on that, the sciatic nerve is kind of close to the surface. When you're pushing up on that, it can compromise it into the hamstring, puts a lot of pressure on it. Again, it can kind of gummed up inside that hamstring there. The next most popular spot, if you sit back too far, and this is quite often people that driving cars, they sit too far back. Again, now what's happening is the nerve actually splits into two right above the knee. So this chair is ending right where that nerve is splitting into two. And especially if your seat's up a little bit too high, angled too high in the car, and now your leg is pushing down, you're actually pushing too much pressure down right on top of that sciatic nerve. And again, right where it splits into two, you're compressing it. And again, that can kind of jam that nerve up into the tissues, and it can get kind of gummed up in that tissue. It splits into two. Then one's going to go around the fibular head, down the outside of the calf. The other one's going to go deep inside the calf. So people do a lot of calf work. So a lot of people that jump a lot, skip a lot, do a lot of walking, whatever it is. The calves can get very tight, or the people like to lie on the couch and they put their feet at the end of the couch and the couch ends because it's a love seat or they're too long ends there. Your feet are hanging off again. That can compromise that peroneal nerve sitting right into the calf there. It's not that common spot, but you can also get compromised there. So those are kind of the most common areas I see the sciatic nerve being compromised going down the leg.
Now we're going to go over 2 exercises to target nerve flossing for that sciatic nerve. The first one, you can start seated. You want to be close to the edge of the seat, and then you'll have your leg straight out like this. And then you want your toe pointing straight up to the ceiling, and then you're just going to gently bend over, and you should feel that stretch behind your knee going down your leg. It might start at your low back, but it will likely be running down your leg. And when you're in this position, you can slowly pump your foot from pointing up to the ceiling straight forward. And you should feel that tension moving back and forth. And for the second exercise, you can have the same position but with your foot up, say on the couch or on a chair, and then you'll just gently lean forward and then pump your foot through from pointing to the ceiling straight forward in front of you. And both of these exercises you can do for about 20 seconds, as many times as you'd like in a day. The second exercise just targets the hamstrings a little bit more.
So if you have this funny feeling kind of going down your leg, doesn't quite feel right, chances are you may have a bit of a compromised sciatic nerve somewhere in one of those spots we kind of talked about. So you've got some homework you can work on to see if you can relieve that feeling. If you're struggling with it, we have a number of practitioners here at the office you can come and see that can help you with it.
And thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like. And if you think your friends will enjoy this video, please share it with them. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you have any comments, questions, or ideas for future videos, please leave that in the comments. And as always at Goldsworthy Wellness, we've got your back.